and welcome to the Zoom Room, a place where we can chat and catch up on stories from the creative industries. I'm really excited to be welcoming our guest today, who is not only an emerging artist, but a student here with us at our Newcastle team. Welcome to the Zoom Room, Rose.
Thank you for having me.
So great to be here with you today. So I wanted to ask you a couple of questions about this season that we're finding ourselves in at the moment. How are you handling isolation? What have you been doing?
Strangely, I have found that, well, two things have happened. One, it hasn't really been a big disruption to my own like day to day, apart from not going to work. Low key great. But I've also been really productive during this period. And that's been really good for me. So I guess I'm lucky in that way. It hasn't been a negative experience, I guess. Yeah. But it's not different to my day to day. It's not that different, really. Yeah.
That's so great. So what is it about your art form and being an artist that helps you during these times and keeps you going?
Well, I suppose something that has been helpful for me as an artist during this period is that I'm already quite used to being on my own. So in the studio, I spend hours at a time working on something or maybe several pieces, and I won't be talking to anyone, the phone will be off, and I'll be in that space. So I guess I've been practicing for this for a long time already. And on top of that, it does give me a place to go and to be distracted and to have something else to be thinking about and focusing on. So I suppose having a creative practice that is quite solitary and is all very much in here has been really helpful for me to keep busy, to keep focused, and to be comfortable with what's happening.
So great. Is there a formula to your creative practice?
Oh, I would say discipline, which is really boring, but I have a structure to my creative practice, and that definitely comes from I guess a place that most people wouldn't expect. Like, I definitely have a process where I get up, I make my coffee, the phone is away, music is maybe on for the first period, and then I might listen to audio books or things like that. And I already have some ideas. I'm already bringing something to my page, to my practice, and I'm using that as a way to get it out and to work through it and to think about it and to start maybe even telling a story as well. And that's very structured. I'm not waiting for creativity to come in and be like, oh, today's the day, this is when it's happening. It's like, no, you're in there, you've got work to do, let's do it. You've only got this little a bit of time, let's make the best of it.
I love that. Discipline and diligence, and it's so fantastic. So if you could imagine yourself in 3 years from now, what do you hope would be different about you and your practice compared to now?
I think in 3 years, I'd like to be in a situation where I have had some more experiences in exhibitions. So having the opportunity to show my work a little bit more, which is very valuable because then I get feedback about what I'm doing, which has a flow-on effect to create work that is different or has additional perspectives put on top of it. I'd also like to be in a situation where I have my own studio that I've made myself, which would be really lovely. And in 3 years, I think I'd also like to be painting a little bit more because I'm primarily drawing based, and I've only just started to creep back into my painting practice, and I'd like that to be definitely part of it. That would be wonderful.
So great. Among the people that you've worked with, is there any standouts that you really admire?
Oh, most definitely. So there's 2 people in particular that I can think of. One of them is Brett Peaver, who is somebody who falls in the category of being an art professional. He also is an artist himself, and he encourages other people as a mentor too. So he owns Onward Studio in Hamilton here, which hosts several other artists within that space. He's also the founder of the Make It Made It Design Conference, which is really, really cool and I think very valuable to the Australian art, design, creative scene. And then on top of that, he's just like a really awesome person. And I was really lucky to work with him for one of my like first major exhibitions in Newcastle in August in 2019. And yeah, he was a really great influence on me. And I think that the more people who get the chance to have contact with him, like the better, because he's just so awesome. And the other person is Heath Killen, who he is a lecturer at the university. He also owns the All Story Gallery in Wickham. He is a bit of a design guru and is also somebody who totally supported my creative growth in a way that was like completely unprecedented. I haven't had anyone just go, yep, I trust what you're doing. Let's make it happen. I want to like give you as much opportunity as I can for you to succeed. And that was the first time I met this person. And I then had a show with him in October in 2019 and it went off. And I don't think I could have done it without him. And yeah, I feel like Newcastle's very, very lucky to have this person.
That's so fantastic. So what do you think would be one of the most key things that you've learned for him, something that you can implement in your day-to-day life or practice? If you could summarize it down to one thing, what do you think that would be?
I think it would be authenticity. To create work that is distinctly yours and not feel pressure to make things that aren't authentic to you and who you are as a creative person.
Beautiful. I love that. So interesting question. If you could swap careers with another creative for a day, who would you choose?
Oh, okay. This is such a good question. So I would love to be able to dance.
Yes.
I suck at dancing. Like I'm enthusiastic, but I suck at it. And so the idea of being a creative person who expresses themselves through their body, I just can't even fathom that. So I would love to be able to dance. That would be so cool.
Well, thanks so much, Rose, for your time this morning. See you next time in the Zoom room.
Thank you for having me.